Okay, I'm back. I need to grab some water first, you know? Hydrate first. Nice. I'm gonna be on Twitter for a second. First emoji. Apparently today is Saikuno's birthday. It's pretty cool. Okay. So, try to guess what's today's topic. I didn't give any hints in my announcement this morning. K-pop. Okay, you got it. Alright then. Alright. Yeah, it is K-pop. What's the point of having what's K-poppin' without ever talking about K-pop, you know? It's like there has to be a episode dedicated to K-pop. Well, I don't know a thing about K-pop. Oh, here's the thing. You don't have to know a thing about K-pop because I'm gonna start all the way from the beginning, the history of K-pop. This is going to be the history of K-pop. You don't have to know anything. I'm just teaching the information that I know from like 9 years of listening to K-pop and actually indulging into the culture itself. I'll move the microphone a little bit closer. Okay. Now it's right in front of me. We could always wait for like a few more people if they plan on popping in. Right now we could just like, chill like always. So how's everyone? That just peaked a little bit. Okay. Oh, you hung out with Daryl yesterday. That's cool. I thought the vaccine is supposed to be good after like 2 weeks. Like after your last final dose, you should wait like 2 weeks for for it to be fully effective. When did you have your vaccine? I was told that you should wait at least 2 weeks for it to be effective by a doctor. And you went out before its effectiveness? Come on, dude. Come on. Everyone else there was vaccinated and I was only like 4 days off. Shame on you, dude. Shame on you. You're the late bloomer. You got to the thing last. Everyone else been all set. Just only you. Heck, I'm already vaccinated before you. Shit, I just kicked something. Hopefully I didn't pull any wires. Okay, I'm good. I'd say this week's been pretty interesting. I was planning on streaming, but then a lot of things happened. I got a phone call on Tuesday, and then I got another phone call on Wednesday, and also my mom was home on Wednesday. Monday was a holiday. And then yesterday I had a phone call about, like, with a company, a phone interview basically, just to like prep things up, and then like if the person I was talking to, they were taking notes, and like if they'll send it to like the staff over there, the director and like the supervisor or something, and they'll look over the notes and see if I'm a good match, and after that they will schedule a video call with me. It's not for it is for an internship, but it's like I still have to wait acceptance, you know. So on Wednesday I got another phone call, and that's from the same exact company saying, "Hey, they were satisfied with the notes that I gave them, so you seem like a pretty decent match. We'll set up a video call with them. Like, he's like, what time do you want? Like, the earliest I could give you was on Wednesday, 2 o'clock." And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just take. I'll see. I'll do 2 o'clock, and then so like the same exact. So like that afternoon, I just had an interview with that particular company for about an hour. But prior to that company contacting me, another company already contacted me via email last Friday about scheduling a video call. So that was yesterday with that particular company. So I had the interview yesterday. So I had 2 interviews this week. Both of them lasted about an hour long. So we don't know what's the result. Here's the thing, I am just annoyed at my mom. Is like, how's the interview? And it's like, I have no idea how it went. Like, all I know is that both sides is just neutral. Like there's no like way to figure out if they're satisfied with you. They still gotta go through like the discussion between like the supervisor and the director, how they feel about the person that they just talked to. You know, they gotta find a time to discuss if they want to hire this person, you know. And also there's probably other candidates too. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only candidate. So but let's just pray that I am able to get into one of these internships at least. Speaking of internships, I had a phone interview back in April, like towards the end of April, with a company, and they didn't even tell me if I got in or not until like maybe over a month later. Over a month later, they informed me, like, "Hey, Joanna, thanks for applying with us, but we found other candidates that fit the role more." And I'm just like, okay, thanks. It was all in email too, and I was like, you're really just over a month late? Alright then, thanks. I guess that's a response, but I'm just like, this is one hella late response. Same thing with another company. I applied to the company, but like they didn't send any email about regarding we want to interview you or anything. They just like, hey, thanks for applying, but we've moved on. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. I don't think you needed to inform me if I never even got the chance to interview anyways. Like, it's just hilarious, especially with like last year, like last fall when I applied to all Big Four companies for the summer internships. They did not even give a flippin' chance about wanting to interview at all. Like they just straight up said, "Oh hey, thanks for applying, but we're not we found other people." I'm just like, thanks. I knew I didn't have a chance. Cause you're the flippin' Big Four, of course. You want someone that has a confirmed, hey, I'm gonna get my 150 credits as soon as possible. Yeah, like, fuck Big Four. Here's the thing, my mom's like, oh my god. Speaking of Big Four, I know this is not about K-pop anyways, but I'm just saying, like, okay, so like, my mom has like this huge expectation of me, like, hey, you should try to go for Big Four, and I was like, nah. That's too high of an expectation. It's like saying, hey, Joanna, when I was like in a senior in high school, it's like, hey, Joanna, you should try to apply for, you know, Yale, Harvard, Princeton. It's like the Big Four is like kind of like that. It's like you're aiming way too high at that point. Big Four is like considered as like the Ivy Leagues of college, like kind of like Ivy Leagues of the accounting world. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just like telling my mom, explain like, okay, so like the whole reason why I do want an internship is just to, you know, gain experience, but also like through like the staff, like learn about like if the staff has gone through public and private accounting, like I would like to ask them questions on their opinions and their experiences that they had through both private and public. And that might give me like some sort of like idea what path I should go into. So I know it pays well, okay? That's what my mom tells me too. But I'm just like, this is just really hard to achieve. And also, they really want to hire those that are definitely going to get their CPA as soon as possible. For me, that's questionable. CPA is not in my nearest future, maybe far future. We don't know. It's in the plans, but I don't know if I really do want to take the CPA. So, and also, I don't. Okay, I'm not saying I don't want to take masters, but not immediately. I don't think I'm gonna take a master's program immediately. I'm probably gonna try and find a job right after, like straight out of graduation, and just work off my student loans first, and then maybe, get back into education. That's how we're gonna roll with. Gotta deal with loans, because loans is a big deal. Gotta love college. When financial aid doesn't give you enough, you gotta pay. But also, if you want to have more financial aid, they're just like, hey, here, slap on some student loans for you. So, and then we got interest rates too, so it's like, fuck, man. Honestly, like maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, I had a mental breakdown about not being able to find an internship, because at that point I've at least like actually applied over 40 applications and no like actual acceptance rate at all. Like so far 0% acceptance rate to any of it. So like I just like literally had a huge meltdown, like wow, this is gonna be like super hard on me, because like, okay, sure, I can't find a summer internship, but it's really hard to even find a fall internship that's part-time, or like a spring internship that's part-time. Like I don't want to work full-time and just skip out on a whole term, semester, just to work. Like I want to be able to graduate on time by May 2022. Yeah, May 2022. So there's that predicament there. So if I do get an internship, I would be glad, but it's still gotta go through the department. Gosh, words. But kind of over that now. Kind of over the mental breakdown stage. I'm just like, it was just like literally maybe a week or two after finals, and I'm just like thinking about my future after graduation, and that really just made me have a huge meltdown, because like literally it's hard. Life is hard. But we'll get through it. What the hell is in my skin? Do I have a splinter on me? What the hell? How did I not feel this? Hold on, let me take this out first. I'm so confused. What's on my hand? I think this is a splinter that I couldn't feel. It's so tiny. What the hell? Ugh. Surgical. No, it's not coming off. What the hell is this then? I'll check that out later. Okay, anyways. We could talk about K-pop now, the history of K-pop. Where should we start? Probably the I guess I would say probably a little bit before, like maybe a decade before K-pop became a thing. When I say before K-pop became a thing, I'm talking about like in the 90s, back in the 90s in Korea. Okay? That's when K-pop actually became like an actual thing in Korea. Like before that, like in the 80s, it was like ballads, Korean ballads mostly. Like you don't hear like any like synth pop or like hip hop or like you just hear just ballads. I would say kind of like, I guess the Korean the South Korean national anthem is like kind of like a ballad. I don't know when that actually was made, but whatever. I don't know much about the 70s and the 60s. I'm assuming it's probably similar to America with like the hippie stuff. We had a hippie era back in the day, but I'm not too sure about in Korea what they had like prior to the 80s. Probably a mix. Well, let's start with actually like truly K-pop. So, in the 1990s, K-pop was, I would say in the early 90s, it was not too popular at all. Like, the first few groups weren't as well known and weren't really considered as like K-pop until like Sotaeji and Boys, which after them actually became like an actual thing. I believe Sotaeji and Boys came out like in 1992, if I remember that. Like prior to that group, it wasn't like, oh, the music wasn't like popular. It was more like kind of taboo to listen to, actually. Like it was like a new type of music that people weren't used to, and like the older generation was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't want my kid listening to this. This is not good. But then like Sotaeji and Boys kind of like became popular within teens and like the youth generation, because like it was somewhat similar to what BTS had in a sense. Like they had very relatable topics in the lyrics. So that's how they became pretty big and actually turned K-pop history around. It's pretty interesting though. I don't think I've ever heard of any Sotaeji and Boys music though. Any questions so far? This is a lecture, K-pop lecture. Let's go. Nope. Okay, we shall go on. So from then on, like many different artists came up. Like, I would say like maybe after that was more like the R&B type of artists in the 90s that kind of popped off a little bit, like Jinwoo Shan, Dukes. Is that? I don't know how to pronounce any of these. Okay, and then One Time, and then Drunken Tiger. I've heard of Drunken Tiger. All of these actually were like kind of after 1995-ish. Maybe except for Dukes. Deuce? Maybe it's Deuce. Deuce. It's French, of course. So Deuce was a duo. I remember reading up on them one time. They actually were pretty popular back in the early 90s though, because it was around the same time as So Taejian Boys. Except they had to disband right after, like maybe after 3 years of active, like being an active group, they kind of just disbanded, and then one of the members went solo, only had one single, like their debut stage. The night of their debut stage, they died. And it's still somewhat of a mystery, but like the conspiracy theories is that like it's most likely his girlfriend at the time just killed him. But like because the girlfriend was rich and all and had like family members that were politicians, they were able to like take the charges off of her. Like she was not charged guilty or anything, like she wasn't sentenced to. But there was definitely a lot of evidence that pointed towards that specific girlfriend though. Like there was a lot of like actual evidence. Like they had 3 trials. The first trial they had the first trial, the second trial, and the third trial. The first 2 trials, there was a witness that pointed to the girlfriend saying like she's the one that killed him. But then by the third trial, that same witness kind of twisted the words, and because of they twisted their words, the girlfriend got let off like no charges. So I was just like, what the fuck? So now like that girlfriend is still out there, just not guilty for killing the boyfriend. The boyfriend is one of the members of Deuce. So he died young too. He was like 23, which sucked. I was like, oh my god, that really sucks. But anyways, after those hip hop, like around the same time as like certain hip hop groups and hip hop solo artists, there was also like the rise of like actual like K-pop idol groups. So like some of like this would be now known as the first generation K-pop idol groups. So like H.O.T, Sheskis, SES, Finkel, Baby Vox, Diva, Shinhwa, God, like so many like actual like I've heard of these groups too. Like these are definitely big names for those that have dove into K-pop culture. Actually, some of these groups are still somewhat active. Most of these groups have actually disbanded. So, like, first generation groups kind of like broke off really. Like, their idol days were pretty short. I believe the longest ones were lasted only about 5 years. The only group that actually lasted until till this day is Shinhwa. Like, they're still a group. So they've debuted over 20 years ago and they're still a group, which is super cool. I don't know if they release any music as of right now, but that's the first generation group. I would say some of these groups did come back, have comebacks. Was there another group? Was another group? Turbo! Right, Turbo. Turbo was another group. Turbo was definitely like a duo. Yeah, they were a duo. So like, one of the members left after like 3 years or 4 years, and then they replaced that member with a new member, and that only lasted like 2 years, and then the group just broke off after that. But like back in like 2017, 2016, like all 3 members of the group actually came back and came out with a song. Surprisingly, I think it was to celebrate 20-year anniversary, their 20th year anniversary. So it was pretty cool. Like, a lot of these groups a lot of these first generation groups come back just to celebrate like a decade anniversary, which is pretty cool. And then we go on to like after the 2000s with like still early 2000s was still considered as first generation. So like let's see, there were some very famous soloists during the early 2000s. So it's from 2000 to 2005. So like we have Boa under SM Entertainment, and like what else is there? Rain actually debuted in 2002. Wow. Yeah, I remember that. And then like, I would say technically TVXQ is like a first generation group, part of the first generation group. They debuted in 2003. I'm pretty sure they're first generation. Also under SM Entertainment. So also we gotta talk about the entertainment companies at the time too. So like going back to the 90s, and somewhat a little bit of the 80s, in the 80s there was this solo artist by the name of JYP. Pretty sure people have heard of JYP Entertainment. If you know Kpop and entertainment companies, they're one of the big 3 companies. So like JYP was a solo artist, and then he ended up finding his own entertainment company in 1997. So, but the founder actually is still to this day releases music. He was once the CEO, but he is no longer the CEO, but he is like still like considered as like a producer, one of the top producers there. Oh yeah, all the top three actually the top three entertainment companies actually were found around the same time as each other. SM Entertainment was found by Lee Suman in 1995. Former member of Sotaeji and Boys, Yang Hyun Suk. Okay, yeah. Mr. YG, Papa YG himself, actually founded YG Entertainment back in 1996. And yeah, that's the big three that actually kind of like set the tone for K-pop. Actually, the big three companies. Yeah, so like Boa was under SM. Rain, I believe, was under JYP until a certain amount of time. TVXQ was under SM. They had 5 members when they first debuted. Later on, 3 of the members left due to a dispute with the company. So now TVXQ is a duo group. Still first gen. And then we get to second generation, which is like kind of like 2005 and after. No, actually, yeah, 2005 to like 2010, 2011. But okay, so like under the under second generation, there were groups like Super Junior, Big Bang, Wonder Girls, Girls' Generation, Kara, Shiny, 21, 4 Minute, Tiara, FX, After School. Holy shit, all these big names that I've heard of. I still love Big Bang too. They're the reason why they brought me into K-pop too. I gotta say, back in 2012, before Gangnam Style was a thing, Big Bang came out with Fantastic Baby. I saw it and I was like, what the hell is this music that I've never heard of? What is this? And I got hooked on. And it was like, okay, I like this. So that's history for me. It went all down history from that point on, once I got sucked in. Let's see. Some of the big names, like, let's see. Super Junior, they made a pretty big name for themselves, though. Because, like, in 2009, they released Sorry Sorry. It became, like, a pretty popular thing globally within Asian countries. It didn't really reach America yet. What really reached America was probably Wonder Girls' Nobody. Because they actually ended up releasing an English version of Nobody. They only performed like on American stage probably once. That's it for Wonder Girls. I don't remember about everyone else though. I'm trying to figure out which one of the other groups actually have performed on an American stage. One of the first few groups that performed there. It's very interesting. But yeah, you have those big K-pop names that like everyone throws around. That's a part of this. And then I believe like maybe like I'm trying to cut where does second gen and third gen start? Like that's like the slow rise. Like the second gen was kind of the slow rise of getting into the global market. It probably was more popular when it first like hit China. China's like a huge market, so they have a huge target market in China, of course. That makes sense. But I don't know about America at the time. Maybe a few people, but it wasn't like as big as right now, where everyone kind of somewhat knows about K-pop. But we're going stepping stones, you know, going steps, slowly climbing up the steps. I would say what really started popping off was probably maybe after Gangnam Style that happened in 2012. But it was more like a one-hit wonder kind of thing where it's like, oh, what is this phenomenon? What is this? This is this is K-pop? But then I don't really consider it as a K-pop song because it was so overplayed at this point too. So it's like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of Gangnam Style. Please stop. So like, up until like before BTS became a thing, I would say technically Gangnam Style was what, like, whenever you talk about K-pop, everyone somewhat like kind of thought of, like, the first thing they think of K-pop was Gangnam Style. So like for people like, oh, it's like you're talking about K-pop. It's like what? Like the song Gangnam Style is like, yeah, but there's more than Gangnam Style. You could always listen to other stuff other than Gangnam Style. What? Who knows? I'm still trying to think about the cut though. Okay, to be honest, I would probably cut second gen and third gen at 2009, and like the start of 2010 was when all these second gen groups happened. Like in 2010, who the heck debuted in 2010? Wait, isn't 2PM a second gen group? Why didn't they mention? Yeah, I didn't mention 2PM. Holy shit, 2PM. They're gonna have a comeback soon too. Hey. All the members went through military enlistment. Let's go. They've gone through military service. So like, let's see. Beast? I'm pretty sure Beast actually came out in 2010. Miss A. Yes, Miss A came out in 2010 as well. Who else came out in 2010? I'll think of other things. But yeah. Like, second gen consists of Beast, Miss A, A-Pink, AOA, EXO, Infinite, BTS, Red Velvet, Icon, Winner. Oh god. We're thinking. Think hard, Joanne. Keep on thinking. Okay, all groups that debuted up until up until 2018, but like probably like the start of 2018 was when third gen cuts off, and then it's the start of fourth gen, And fourth gen is where a lot of groups that we know nowadays is like Stray Kids, ATEEZ, G-Idol, ONEUS, TXT, or Tomorrow by Together, Treasure, aespa. Now I'm listing off groups that are just debuted like last year, but you'll get the point. Like, it was more like second gen was like, okay, to explain how K-pop actually became a thing was like second gen was like just like maybe a few hits here and there, but then third gen was when it really like became popular after like YouTube was more like a bigger huge thing, and like people were discovering K-pop through YouTube, like me. What else is there? They started to have like a global audience, and like they definitely became bigger by like the end of now. Like by now, like they're pretty big. And then like for fourth generation groups, they already reached a global audience in the first place, so they grew pretty fast. Like Stray Kids is very popular globally. They're not BTS big, but they reached a global audience. They instantly had global fans. So yeah. Oof. Man. I would say like probably BTS would be definitely the one that broke the barrier and like actually broke records for real though. For people that say BTS didn't pave the way, to be honest, I would say technically BTS did pave the way in the sense that they broke the barrier, but the second gen group with a few global hits did somewhat pave the way, but like not in the same way that BTS did. BTS is on a whole different level when it comes to becoming like well known. Like BTS, they came from a tiny company. They came from a small entertainment company. Like their company was like a nobody. They actually started off as a nobody when they first debuted. They only had like maybe 100,000, not even 100,000 fans, but like they had very few fans. So like when they had concerts, they only had like they filled up like maybe theaters and like small, yeah, somewhat like a theater. That's what they filled up with fans first, and then slowly now we see like they're filling up stadiums, football stadiums, like huge stadiums. Like it's just amazing how much they've grown since then. Like back in the day, I remember all of this. I remember all about BTS history is because like literally this gotta move on to BTS history, to be honest. Like literally nobodies. They were made fun of for being nobodies. Like, haha, you're from a small company. You're never gonna make it big. Like, it wasn't just other companies that were making fun of them. Like, legitimate, like some television hosts can tell that you're a fucking nobody. I'm not gonna be nice to you. Like I'm more famous than you, so I'm just not gonna be super nice. Which kind of sucked for BTS, honestly. Like, they're just trying their best. They're still rookies in the K-pop world. Like, and like, because they had like they debuted with like a hip hop group type of style. So like, the rappers of BTS, like the rap line, literally got shitted on by actual underground rappers. Like, they're like, oh, so you guys were underground rappers at first, and then you joined an entertainment company and like trained to be an idol. It's like, what's the definition of an idol and all that other stuff? And then it's like just being idol is all about just like wearing makeup like girls and shit, and like that's not real hip hop and stuff. So like, I was just pissed off at that point with like underground rappers just shitting on BTS for being a hip hop group at the time. And slowly, of course, they've changed they've like they've released different types of music, of course. And like, BTS didn't really make it big until like in Korea, not globally, but in Korea, until 2 years after their debut. About 2 years after they debut, they actually have their first win ever on a music show with I Need You. It was so like, it was such a happy moment for everyone. Like, holy shit, we won our first music show win. Let's go. So everyone was so proud. Everyone cried. I cried. Because that was when I first got into like really big, not first got into, like, that's when I actually like became a fan of BTS. I followed since their debut, and I'm so proud to see where they're at now. It's been amazing to see. But yeah, that's the history of K-pop, along with a little bit of BTS history. That's a lot of K-pop information to actually like remember, honestly. Whew. So, any questions? If anyone was listening, any questions about K-pop? I know I skimmed over a ton of details on K-pop, but that's like the general history of K-pop. Honestly, I'm gonna probably stay on the topic of K-pop anyways, because like there's a lot of things to talk about K-pop, not just about the history of K-pop. Like, wait a minute. Well, there's a huge news. Hello. What happened with Hyuna? Oh, this is so sweet. Wow. Okay, so um with certain K-pop stuff, like apparently I have one bone to pick with when it comes to K-pop. Like, certain K-pop fans are really delusional when it comes to like idols dating, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why are you guys so pressed on an idol like actually dating? This doesn't make sense. Like, what the hell? Like, why the fuck would you be so mad? It's not like your oppa's gonna marry you, okay? They're not gonna go out there and try to fucking find a date within the millions of fans that they have. Like, what the fuck? Move on with life. There's no way in hell that you're gonna go ahead and date like your idol. That is stupid. And before you say, hey Joanna, what about your Twitter name and your Instagram name? Why is it Taehyung is my BF? And I was like, here's the thing. I'm not a delusional fan. I'm just using, I just made that name, like that tag just for fun. Like, it's not like for real, like, oh, I wanna have Taehyung as my BF. Like, no, I actually have a real legitimate boyfriend, of course. Like, sure, the name is just cringe, but like, it's just a name. There's no meaning behind the name. It just shows I'm somewhat of like a K-pop fan with that type of like tag. But moving on, like, literally so many idols got shit on. I remember when I first heard news of Baekhyun of EXO and Taeyeon from Jurgel's generation. Like, you have this second generation idol dating a third generation idol, like and they're from the same company, so like people are like, what the fuck? I don't like it. Like, I'm just like, let the couple be happy. So like, they broke up after like maybe like a year and a half later, like, of just dating. Like, the reason why they broke up was like due to busy busy work schedules and like, yeah, and stuff, and it's like, sure, totally, definitely, it's not because of fans, right? Like, for sure, it's 100% that fans kind of pulled them apart at the time. Like, I would not be surprised if that really did happen. But like, I would say somewhat like a little bit after that news, maybe like back in 2017, yeah, 2018, like the news of Hyuna and Dawn dating broke up, like became big. Like, it's like, holy shit, Hyuna is like this huge K-pop figure since like the second gen days, and then you have like this third generation K-pop idol dude, like that just debuted like not like just only 2 years, and all of a sudden he's dating such a huge like K-pop icon. Oh my god. So like people like literally threw shit on the two. Like they were saying Hyuna like fucking ruined his career because he's such a new person in K-pop, and versus her that she's already established a like huge fan base, a reputation, like what? It's just like, what the heck? Let the two be happy. It didn't make sense. But yeah, like they like, I would say technically they somewhat got kicked out of their own company. They didn't own a company, like the company that they were under in, Cube Entertainment, like just kicked them out and like didn't even defend them at all. So like they were thrown, like they had a lot of hate comments. But like after that it simmered down, and like a lot of the global fans actually supported them. But like the Korean fans had a huge like problem with it though. So like there's that difference between the Korean fans versus the global fans. Of course there's definitely gonna be some global fans that are gonna be like, oh yeah, screw those idols that choose to date. Like, fuck you guys. Like, literally, who are you to dictate over an idol's love life? Like, if they really like someone that they want to date, let them fucking date. Come on. Have some common sense. It's like, for example, if you were famous and suddenly your fans say, hey, you shouldn't be dating anyone, but you really like someone and you want to date that person, and you ended up dating that person, and all of a sudden your fans are like, what the fuck, break up with that person. Wouldn't you say, what the fuck, fans? Like, be supportive instead of like fucking throwing hate at me. Like, understand from their perspective. Love is love. Love is strong. Like, you can't break up that bond. So yeah. That's one of the bones I gotta pick with about like certain K-pop fans that think they're entitled to be being able to control a K-pop idol's life. Like, heck, this is nothing to do with relationships, but like Jungkook of BTS, he well, technically kinda in Korea, honestly, getting tattoos is kinda taboo in itself. But like fans should really just, if an idol chooses to get tattoos, that's their body. You have no control over their body, honestly. If they want a tattoo, let them have a tattoo. Like, if they got the tattoo legally, I'm pretty sure Jungkook got the tattoo legally anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, to be able to give a tattoo, you have to like have like some sort of like a doctor's license or something in Korea. So it was pretty weird to read up on that. Yeah, but all this is just K-pop related stuff. I could always like go on with like different stuff too. I might, honestly, I'll stray away from the topic of K-pop right now a little bit. Like, maybe go on to like a little bit of K-dramas. Like, my god, I'm so fucking hyped up for Penthouse 3. Like, the first episode airs today, and I'm so fucking hyped up. I can't wait to watch the first episode. From what I heard, season 3 is like going to only have one episode a week, and I'm just like, no, why? Also, hello, Luminous 12397. How are you doing? That's a new one. Okay, do you want me to say 12,397 or 12397, or just call you Luminous? Who knows? You're fine. That's good to know. That's good. Glad to hear that you're fine. Just Luminous or Lumi is fine. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. I remember you followed because of, I believe, was it Captain? I have a fuzzy memory, to be honest. But yeah, we had like, okay, so Lumi, you kind of missed out on like a huge portion of the podcast a little bit. Don't look it up. Okay. I would say you kind of missed a huge portion of the podcast where I actually talked a lot about like the history of K-pop, and also like I kind of like had a few like complains about K-pop fans, certain K-pop fans. Can I not find it on YouTube? Find one on YouTube. Hydrate, okay. The podcast? You're in the podcast right now. I'm doing a podcast right now. This is like a live stream podcast right now. I do these like episodes like about every 2 weeks. Yeah, right now. The podcast name right now is called What's Kpoppin'? So, usually we have a co-host, but today I chose to actually do this episode alone. I didn't discuss with the co-host. I just decided to go and actually go along with just doing solo right now for today's episode. Okay, let's talk about torture devices. What in the world? What in the world are torture devices here? Like, are you talking about like legitimate like fucking tasers? Like a taser? Ha 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 ha. Very monka. Very monka. My god. I'm glad you asked. Oh no. Oh no. I opened up Pandora's box. I opened up Pandora's box. Why? Let's start with the simple one. Oh god. How did we go from talking about K-pop to this now? Oh my god. What the fuck is that? Okay, I shouldn't have even asked about that now. I could search that up. Nah, I'm not. No, never mind. I'm gonna use context right now to see what that probably might mean. I know, where is this podcast going? I don't know. What the fuck? Huh? Huh? Oh my lord. I don't think I want to think about that. I don't think I want to think about it now. I'm pretty sure I would know that, Lumi. Stabbing someone anywhere on the body doesn't instantly kill you. It depends on where you stab the person. If they're stabbed in a very critical area, then yeah, they're gonna die pretty fast. But if they're stabbed in an area that's not as critical and they could probably live a little bit longer, then yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to think about that. I do not want to think about that, honestly. That's just like, ew, what? Ew, no. Oh, why? Why? Ew. Yikes. Ew. No. I'll pass on that. I'll definitely pass on it. I'll be okay. I'll pass. Oh, I'll end. I'll end soon. I'll be ending soon. Bye, Lumi. What was that? What is that, Monka? What the heck? How did we go from talking about K-pop and all of a sudden torture devices? Oh my lord. I don't think those two should go together. I think torture devices should go in a different type of podcast, honestly. Maybe not a different type of podcast, probably a different episode. Which I don't even know any of this, anyways. Like, why talk about it? Ugh, push that aside. Yeah, honestly, I might actually really just end it there, cause I got nothing else to talk about. I probably was going to talk about more like, oh hey, like, season 3 is coming out today for Penthouse, and like, I'm fucking excited because it's awesome. I can't wait for the subtitles to be done on Viki.com, cause like, that's where I get my just watch most of my K dramas. Can't wait. But yeah, I'll just end it right here with the topic, honestly. Where is this? Yeah, I'll definitely end it right there. So, we are ending the stream here. I know it's hella short for a stream, but what do you expect? This is a podcast. I don't feel like streaming anything else after. So I'll just end it there. And also, I want to finish one of the episodes I'm watching for a K drama. So I gotta end it here. Hopefully, everyone stays safe out there, you know? Oh, now you're doing Discord. I highly doubt anyone's here, anyways. But, you know. Stay safe out there. I would say wear your masks if you feel like wearing a mask. If you're not vaccinated yet, just wear a fucking mask, please. If you are vaccinated, you have a choice to wear your mask. Keep the mask on, honestly. But, you know, if you know people around you, like your friends, have been vaccinated, feel free to take off that mask. It's if you would trust the people, you know. So, but always use hand sanitizer and wash your hands, cause hygiene. Gotta be hygienic, you know. Cause your fingertips are nasty. You gotta keep them clean. Anyways, bye. Adios. Have a nice day, everyone. Or night. Or afternoon. Who the heck knows? Bye.